currently, what impact that this Naira, the Naira appreciates, and the dollar coming down and the Naira, coming to an equilibrium with the dollar, something like something that has sense, basically, not the way it was a few months back. So basically, like I said, today we're having conversation about the Naira. Yes, we all know how Naira was early this year, how it was, running up from, I can't even remember the amount we came to Naira this year, but I can remember as at February we were already at 18, 19 thereabout, and all of a sudden from nowhere the miracle happened, and then boom, it's dropped. And it just didn't drop, basically. Fine, the government had to intervene, and they had to bring in that stability for the Naira, and we could see that yes, the Naira appreciated to some extent, where the rate at which the price of goods was going at that time. Any small thing you hear is dollar is expensive, dollar is expensive, dollar is expensive. And now we could all see that dollar is not as expensive as what it was a few months back to now, and then all thanks to the intervention of the CBN, the government. Basically, it all started with when the CBN dropped down the crypto world market, had to intervene, and they had to shut down Binance and everything. We all saw the scenarios, we all saw the films and everything, but basically that is actually what we're actually going to be talking about. We want to talk about the impact. So firstly, what do I mean by appreciation? That's currency appreciation. Now, it means that the value of a country money goes up compared to other countries. That's just the simple appreciation. Back then when we were young, like I used to hear the story of when they say $1 was 1 Naira. But now it is not like that. It's a different story entirely. Now, appreciation was a scenario where we also saw how the dollar came down to the level, and Naira had some value. You could hold it for something substantial, even though we understand it was not like before. But basically, that's just what it simply means. Now, behind the currency appreciation, there's some factors too that's always behind it, and that's what we're talking about: the economic condition, these things like inflation, interest rates, the GDP growth of the currency value that affects the currency value, and lots like that. Economic condition, like I said, inflation. We also how the oil price of the market was going, and people were already complaining to the government, and it was a factor for the government to look into. Everybody saw how it was, the way dollar was Naira was chasing dollar back then, early February thereabout, when before Binance people, we also the story. I don't want to go deep into that today. We also the difference and everything. We also everything. So these are the number one factors behind the currency appreciation. We have the economic factors, we have the foreign investments, we have trade balance, we have government actions. And government actions, especially, was when the CBN, had to come in place to mediate, bring new rules and regulation, especially for the bureau de change. They had to merge some, with the new policies of the amounts a single bureau de change can have, and also the best place where you can get your dollar, and likes like that. So now going forward, we want to talk about the impacts. What impacts has this currency appreciation had, especially on the Nigerian economy? What impact? Now, the first impact for most people is reduced import cost. Yes, when the Naira is strong, it translates to cheaper cost, cheaper importation, because the goods can come in freely. But basically, I don't know if you're experiencing that, but part of the impact of when the Naira had more value was it reduced the import cost. People could bring in goods like electronics, clothing, raw materials and stuff like that. Also, potentially lower inflation. Cheaper, once goods are in, there's opportunity for these things to come down, electronics and stuff like that. But basically, we all don't see that happening. And that is another story for another day. We'll be discussing why it's actually not looking like that, because most people still complain as of now that the currency is down, dollar is down, and then goods of goods in the market are still expensive. Now, another impact is debt. Yes, now for those that are servicing debts, especially in foreign currency, it's, become more easier and reducing costs for the, especially to the government as well. Then prices, like I said, reduce inflation costs. It's also leads to prices. And the most important impact so far was the reserve. When the naira became stronger, it increases the Nigerian foreign reserve, helps to stabilize the economy. We also the news, as if you are following the news. Now, also to some people that wanted to invest, I don't know if they had the opportunity, but it's another form of impact on the currency. Now, let's talk about the current situation. We all could see, even as of today, the current rates, how much CBN is selling a dollar to a naira, the naira to a dollar, it's still at the rate of 1,000 naira there, and black markets are doing 1.2, 1.3, 1.4 thereabout. Now, we all see that the significant, there has been a change. There has been an high difference as at February till April. The rate at which the dollar was going, and also the way at which the naira was going, there has been a balance as at now. And we could say that thank you to CBN on that. They did a good job, but I believe they can do better, and also the government can do better. And basically, there's still more things we all need to consider, because the impact of the currency appreciation, can be complex, and also it depends on the various factors on the economy. For example, now we all see how the factors when it comes to food, it's still not getting better at the food. It's just coming better at the monetary level. It's still not better at the food. And how can we do that? How can we make it more impactful? How can we make it more better? Is as an individual, we have to talk about it, going into production. As a person, have a mini farm where you can also make production of something for yourself. Produce something that you can eat, and you can buy. It's also going to be, help the government at the long run. So with this point, I believe you've been able to share one or two things. I believe you've been able to learn one or two things. Don't worry, next week we have another exacting topic to talk about. Thank you so much for joining today's session. If you have any questions, any suggestions, any opinion, drop it in the comment box. We'll read them and get back to you. Thank you so much for joining once again, and have a wonderful weekend. Bye.